Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is our newest video for the Movie Nerds Club, a set of videos in which I join a group of my fellow film tubers as we give our top 5 lists for a new subject each and every month. And for April, we're talking about our top 5 favorite animal films. So yes, I am wearing a Lion King shirt. However, we are only talking about live action animal films because animation definitely has a leg up in this category, and it's very likely that the entire top 5 would have been made up of animated films. So the parameters included that our films had to be live action, and they had to include realistic-ish animals. So no fantasy creatures, unicorns, Godzilla, that type. And the animal had to be part of our central focus of the film. Now, once you've checked out my top 5 here, make sure that you head on over to my fellow Movie Nerds Club videos and check out Rachel's reviews, mainly movies, Ryan Cam, Ren Geekness, and Zach Pope's channels. Give their videos a watch and show them some love by subscribing. Now, in addition to the parameters the group set forward, I also went a step further in my parameters, and I made my list out of animals as we would see them. More or less realistic depictions of the animal. So that ruled out something like Mighty Joe Young, or more altered iterations of the animals themselves. Though let's go ahead and get into those honorable mentions, because we do see a couple altered versions made that list. And kicking off the honorable mentions, I have Lake Placid. Now, I didn't include Lake Placid in my official top 5 because, well, this type of crocodile is just so humongous and crazy that it's not quite an accurate depiction of the animals themselves, but it's so much fun that I love it as a creature feature. I wanted to give it a shout out. Right along those same lines, we have Anaconda. Yes, the Jennifer Lopez Ice Cube film from the 90s. I love Anaconda. I think it is so much fun. But once again, while the physical depiction of an anaconda is more or less accurate, the behavioral depiction of the anaconda is very inaccurate. Plus, I struggled with putting horror films on my list, as you'll see as we move forward. And spoiler alert, don't expect to see Jaws in my top 5 because he's not really a main character and we hardly see the shark himself. And speaking of horror films that just missed out, we have Cujo. I love Cujo, and this definitely could have made the list because it's a pretty accurate depiction of a dog, though not quite the best depiction of rabies. However, it is a wild ride when it comes to creature features that delivers on all of the horror shenanigans. Next up, I have a very little film that I don't think anybody else loves like I do, but I had to give it a shout out on a list about animal films, and that is Whispers an Elephant's Tale, about this adorable little baby elephant whose mother is poached and he gets kind of brought in by an ornery older female elephant, and he learns to find his voice. I think it's cute. Talking animal films are hit or miss, but at least they're like little mouths don't move. We just kind of narrate over the top, which is my preferred method. And then finally, my final honorable mention, just missing the list, actually, is a pretty recent film, and that is The One and Only Ivan. I thought this was a beautiful film that had a ton of heart, and our animals all looked amazing for CGI animals and held such fantastic characterizations. Now, let's kick off our official list. At number 5, I have The Life of Pi. Now, I have to give a shout out to my group because I honestly hadn't really thought of this when thinking of animal-centered films, but that tiger is just as much of a main character as our human is in this film. I think The Life of Pi is a stunning feature that has gorgeous visuals and one in which our tiger plays such a pivotal role in his journey as a person and obviously his journey toward survival. It's also a very touching friendship that forms between them. Now, Life of Pi Now, arguably, Life of Pi is a better made film than most all of the rest that are on my list here. However, the tiger himself doesn't have great characterization. And I would argue the films left on my list are much more centered around the animal themselves and they have more personality to them. But it's such a stunning film that I had to include it here somewhere. Coming in at number 4, I have Homeward Bound. I love Homeward Bound. I think it is such a cute and endearing film that follows these 2 dogs and this little cat on their epic journey home once they are lost. And I know I dinged a couple of films for not like giving complete realistic depictions of the animals. However, these animals don't do anything overly crazy, more or less behave within the realm of real cats and dogs. Oh, and all 3 of them are so fantastic. This is one of those rare cases that we have a mixture. We have dogs and we have a cat in the mix, all of which are super lovable and adorable. You're rooting for them all. The voice work is fantastic. And oh, once we start getting to that 3rd act, just turn that nozzle on the waterworks because it's an emotionally impactful, beautiful story. Coming in at number 3, I have Babe. Yes, the lovable little pig from the 90s. Who doesn't love Babe? What a cute, heartfelt, and very well executed film. The relation between Babe and the farmer is so adorable and heartwarming. And of course, the shenanigans Babe gets into on his own are so cute. This little tiny pig is absolutely adorable. And what a crazy concept. This little pig trying to be a sheep herding dog as he tries to figure out what he is, who he is, where he belongs. It is just a really well done, heartfelt, beautiful film. Coming in at number 2, I have Marley and Me. Now, I know this film sometimes gets criticism for being emotionally manipulative, but it worked. So absolutely adore Marley and Me. I think Owen Wilson and Jennifer Aniston give great performances and have wonderful chemistry together. And of course, we grow up with Marley. We get him as this adorable, tiny little puppy, and we see how this couple bonds with him over their own personal type of traumas and hardships, and how he brings their relationship even further together. Of course, when they have kids, that brings on a whole new level of adventures. And then when we get to that 3rd act, I mean, come on. If the waterworks are present in Homeward Bound, the floodgates are burst open when it comes to Marley and Me. I am not a movie crier, but I bawled my eyes out the first time I saw this film and can't help but cry as a dog person each and every time I watch this film. And it's such a wonderful relationship development between our humans and Marley, as he's such a brat. He's such a bad dog, a misbehaving dog, but you just can't help but fall in absolute love with him. And then the callbacks in the end, it all gets too real and is a situation too many dog owners know all too well, and that a heartbreak tears me up. So this film will always hold a special place in my heart, and I love Marley and Me. So coming in at number 1, I have Free Willy. Forever one of my favorites. Free Willy was the film that I was obsessed with for so long as a child, and pretty much single-handedly the film that made me fall in love with orcas. Got me in on the cause, wanting to see these orcas be freed from a pretty young age from the theme park. But also, like so many animal films do for children, it really helped to invest me in the plight of animals and understanding them and gaining this deeper empathy for them. And so much of that was attributed to Free Willy. And then we have Jesse, who is such a wonderful character, one who starts off as this rambunctious kid, but one that you can understand as he's been through a lot of hardship in his own life. And him getting this really random job at helping out at this amusement park aquarium with Willy, but forming this incredible bond with the orca is really fantastic. Plus, I think the animatronic work mixed in with the actual live action orca shots is amazing. I think the animatronics here are fantastic. Now, the jumping over the wall doesn't look as great, and once again, not quite orca behavior, but we never really get out of the realm of how orcas truly act. But also, just as special is the fact that this film led to change. The real life Kiko actually was freed, and unfortunately, it wasn't as triumphant and amazing of a post freedom story as we would have liked, but it was a case of art making real world change. I loved that Michael Jackson song over the credits. I loved Willy. I even enjoy the sequels. Free Willy has just made such an impact on my overall life from childhood all the way through to adulthood. I think it is wonderful family entertainment. And to this day, it still stands as my personal favorite live action animal film. So that is my top 5 list for my favorite live action animal films. What did you think? Do you like these films? Agree? Disagree? More importantly, I want to hear your favorite live action animal films. Leave your list in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. Also, once again, make sure that you check out all of my fellow Movie Nerds Club videos. All of their links will be in the comment section down below. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.